and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really fun video planned full of outdoor and patio DIYs that are going to look so good, but using Dollar Tree items, or mostly Dollar Tree items, so these are going to be super budget friendly. Please give me a big thumbs up and let's get on into the video. Dollar Tree has out a lot of really fun spring pieces for $1.25 that I thought were too cute, like this little garden sign. I just loved it, but I don't really have a lot of places outside to hang up a sign, and I wouldn't hang something in my house that was about the garden. I felt like it belonged outdoors. So I grabbed one of these butterfly metal stakes, and I'm just going to be gluing this to the back of the sign so that I can push this down into a potted plant and decorate my porch without having to hang anything up. Now, I'm using hot glue here pretty much just to be really quick, but you definitely could use your favorite adhesive, maybe add some E6000 in here, just in case you are going to be putting this out in the hot summer. Maybe it'll get some direct sunlight. This is on my covered porch, so I think it's going to be perfect, but just press this down into some potted plants and loved how it turned out. One of my favorite outdoor pieces that Dollar Tree has out right now are these solar lanterns. I am pairing it with one of these shepherd hooks. These are kind of small, but seem to be pretty sturdy. It's holding this up in a little potted plant, but these are $5 for these large lanterns. They have the fake candle inside, and I think they look beautiful. But instead of setting this out on the porch just plain, this is one of my favorite hacks. Now, I would not put this out from underneath your porch where it would get wet because we are using the clear Elmer's glue. If this would get wet at your home, you could use epoxy, but ever since discovering the clear glue hack working just as well as epoxy, I just have been loving using it. So I'm using some pressed flowers and pressing it on the sides, just like painting on this faux glue. I made a different one of these lanterns a while back and I loved it so much. I had to go ahead and make another one so that I could have two of them for either side of my front door, but I just love these so much. It adds so much color, makes it look more decorative. You could customize it however you'd like. This would make a great gift idea, but for now I'm just sticking these out on the porch and I feel like it dresses up this space so much more. I always love to go towards the greenery whenever I hit up the Dollar Trees, especially this time of year. They always have a lot to choose from. So for this one, I'm using an 18-inch wreath ring to create a fun wreath for the front door. So this was the little greenery stem that I went with. It does say plastic foliage, so it does have a little bit of a plastic look to it, but I still feel like it looks really good. I think the little vines are done well. If you wanted to, you could spritz this with a little bit of a darker green spray paint just to kind of add a little bit of a different shade of green in it. But for now, I think it looks really good. It's going to look really bright and vibrant for springtime. Now, you could use zip ties. I know a lot of people just zip tie these fake plants down onto the wreath ring. But for me, I'm worried about it scratching my front door or being able to see those from the back. So I don't mind to take the extra couple of minutes and just tie some pieces of jute twine on. I feel like it's a lot softer. It's not going to scratch any paint off or leave any sharp edges when I cut them down. But for these, I'm just placing each little stem in front of one of these little bars. They have like these little support bars, and just put this all the way around. I think I used 7 stems of the greenery, and then I'll be going in with something else to make it look a little bit more fuller that I thought was a great option to be really inexpensive. Now, since there are so many spring signs out at Dollar Tree, just pick any that you like. I love this little sunflower welcome sign. I couldn't believe it was just $1.25 because they have similar things in the plus section for $5. So just grabbed one of the cheap ones. I did put it on this little beaded wreath just to give it a little bit of extra decorative touch, and then go in with some of these summer looking leaves. So like I mentioned before, I wasn't satisfied with how spacious that the wreath looked. It didn't look really full, and I didn't just want to keep throwing in the $1.25 stems because it would have taken double. But these leaves are so big, they're perfect to hide the holes or the space in between each greenery stem. I feel like they look really tropical. They're perfect for spring and summer. So I'm just gluing that every few inches away, anywhere there was a space, and it really filled it in nicely. I loved how this turned out. You can just kind of shape the branches after you get it put together. Everything's nice and tight on there. I love the bee and the sunflower. I hung this up and it looks so good out on the porch. So on this end cap of all of this really fun spring and summer pieces, I found this metal thermometer, but it was kind of small and I felt like it would look really lost if I just threw this up outside. So I wanted to create a nice base for it or plaque that I could hang this on, look a little bit more decorative and be something bigger to make more of an impact on the wall. So I am piecing together 2 blocks of wood from the Dollar Tree, or you could use any scrap wood that you have on hand. And then you can tell this is some well-loved stain. I use this a lot when building the house. We used it on so many things, like a couple of pieces of furniture and things like that, small projects. It is in the color Western Oak and it's just a beautifully muted brown. So go ahead, paint that on and then wipe away the excess. Drill a couple of holes at the top, add in some rope. I did tie the little knots in the front just to be a little bit more decorative. And then I'm just hot gluing the thermometer down in place. But once again, you also could use your favorite adhesive and something a little bit stronger for the outdoors. I've been trying to fix up my back little porch for a while now, trying to start collecting things. I haven't got it pressure washed yet. There's a couple of things we need to do to it first. So it does look a little bit dirty whenever I was taking the beauty shots of these projects today, or the final shots of them. But for this one, I just go ahead, hot glue that thermometer down in place. You could even put the screw at the top to make sure it's not going anywhere, and then hang this outside. I found some really fun vinyl hooks on Amazon where you can hang actual signs and wooded pieces just like this one, so I'll have those linked down below. This is a really fun project. I found this huge piece at TJ Maxx. It was in the clearance section. It actually showed that it was like a planter bench or a little table that you put plants in, but the legs were missing, so that's why it was in the clearance section. But I still feel like it was like really hefty made, and I love the outside material. If you wanted to make something similar, you can use these smaller containers from the Dollar Tree. You could even wrap them in rope to give them more of like a little decorative look. But today I just wanted to use this project and put some Dollar Tree pieces in here to dress it up, since I had to purchase this for quite a bit extra, even though it was on the clearance rack. But I am starting with some styrofoam. Now I did go ahead and leave these in the plastic just to make it a little bit more weatherproof, because this is going outdoors. It'll be on a covered porch, but I know that that still doesn't protect it from bugs and other things trying to build little nests in things. So I left the plastic on, glued those down in place. And then I loved this greenery from the Dollar Tree, so I picked up several of them. I think I ended up using about 9 of them, but they were the perfect size to fill in half of it, so I just kind of put them in 2 at a time. And then you can go back in and fill in whatever you need, but I did decide to put in some moss to cover the styrofoam. I kind of hate using the Dollar Tree moss. I just feel like it has a really weird chemical smell, so I make sure that I wash my hands after touching it. But I had 3 different colors of moss, so I just went ahead and threw that in there. But it just has a weird smell, so I was thankful that this is going outside. After I got that covered, I am going to be pushing in some solar lights. I originally thought that I would use 4, but I thought the 3 looked less crowded and a lot nicer, so that's what I'm going with. I did go ahead and turn the little stake at the bottom inside out because I wanted them to stand up nice and tall. They are going to be under a covered porch, but I haven't noticed any problem with things under this area getting plenty of sunshine, so they should charge and should light up at night. But I feel like this is going to be the perfect centerpiece for our outdoor table. We definitely need to replace our outdoor table. It's starting to look a little shabby, but I'm just focused on other things this year. So I just wanted to go ahead and make a huge centerpiece to go out there. It'll light it up, make it more cozy and a fun place to hang out this summer. Alright, so I love all of the little mushroom decor out at all of the stores. It's just really fun. It brings in bright colors and just looks really cute outdoors. So I wanted to decorate with these, but since they are yard stakes, since we just moved into our house and I don't have all of my sidewalks poured and all of the concrete work done, I really kind of can't landscape a ton. So pushing these stakes down in the yard kind of feel out of place and just kind of random without actual like landscaping. So I wanted to create some fun little planters that I could put on the porch and still get the feel of like decorating for summer and having some fun cute things outside to brighten up our space without, I don't know, having a bunch of random things. So I made this little planter out of one of these plastic tubs. I took it outside, sprayed it with gray spray paint, even added a little bit of my favorite stone spray paint over it, put in some styrofoam, and then I'm actually going to be pressing down some of these mushroom yard stakes. These were just $1.25. I discovered that you can lightly score these with some miter shears or some old scissors that you have and get them to break down. A lot easier than finding something to cut them with, and then just pressing them down in here. I fill this up with just some planter potting soil or garden soil that you have on hand, and then put in some solar lights. But it creates a really fun piece that lights up at night and adds that fun pop of color that I'm really going for. Also, the weather right now is so annoying. It was such a pretty day and I went out and purchased tons of flowers to plant and flower pots, and then the weekend passed and now it is all rainy and cold and it's not as fun to go outside and do those things. So I'm so excited for the sun to come back and set out and enjoy all of my new DIYs. Alright, I had to share these little golden pieces. This is not a DIY, but I thought these were too cute not to share. This was in the plus section for $5 each. They had a couple of different styles. I love the fake gold look, so I purchased some of these to push down into the planters. They had a couple of different styles, these with the bells, as well as these with the little flower. They kind of look like buttercups or something. They remind me of something that I've seen a long time ago, but I thought these were also a great idea to press down into the planters. Thank you all so much for checking out today's video. If you have any other outdoor fun ideas, please leave them down in the comments below, and hopefully I can recreate them in a video coming up. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy crafting! Bye!